He's gone now. So I've been thinking about what you said last week about, do I want him to be manly? Am I coming through? Can you hear me? Okay. So yeah, I've been thinking about that. And you know what? I I don't really care if he's manly. Uh what I want for him is to be content. And don't really care if he's content. I don't care what it is. So if he wants if being manly makes him content, that's I'm good with that. And if something else makes him content, I'm good with that too. Because I don't know. I guess to me, being well, I don't even care if he wants to please me. I just want him to be happy, and he's his own person. He'll figure out what makes him happy, and that's what I want for him and my daughter, which I think she's kind of figuring out what makes her happy now. She's done a lot of growing over the last year as far as that. Oh, okay, yeah. I mean, I don't even care. I don't care if he really wants to make me happy. I just want him to be happy. I want him to like the person he is. Oh, we'll see. I'm not sure she likes guys. Although I think she likes maybe both. Yeah, I maybe that was my issue. Never really felt like I was a masculine man. I don't care enough about masculine things to really be that. Well, they say that, but you just have to have the right person and you'll straighten them out. But I don't think that works out very well. Well, I don't know. We're we get along okay. We're not the greatest fit for each other, but it's more me than her. I'm not I'm not a I'm probably if I had to do it over again, I probably would have just stayed single. I'm not a good, and not just like single, like not married, but single altogether. I'm just not much for not a good person to not wired for being in a relationship with anyone really. Well, as far as my daughter's concerned, I mean, just like with my son, I just want her to be happy, and whatever that means, you know, if it means she's the girliest girl, and if it means she's not doesn't act like a girl at all, I just whatever makes them happy is that's what I want for them. But she's an artist, like for for her age, she's pretty talented. I've been impressed over the last year. The drawings she's been putting out, and she's not afraid to be herself, even though we live in a rural area and she goes to a very small school. She's not afraid to, you know, say, "I don't care what you guys think. I'm going to be and dress the person I want to be," and that's been nice to see because you don't get happy. Everyone has thoughts and opinions sometimes, and there's no shame in sharing those. Well, kind of, you can always be happy if you are given the freedom to do what makes you happy. But if you're not, it you can still kind of choose to be happy, I guess, in some to some extent. But it's a lot easier when you're given the freedom to be the person you want to be. What I mean by freedom, in this sense, is uh, when you're not when someone doesn't come to you and say because you need to um fit my ideal, and it's instead you're just given the freedom to fit whatever ideal you you like. Um, because if you're forced to fit someone else's ideal, you just you'll never feel fulfilled on your in yourself. It'll always be, just working to please other people. I don't see that being a good recipe for happiness. Well, my parents were not. In retrospect, I don't think they did it. They did the best they could, but I don't think they were. They could have done a lot better. And I mean, I give my kids advice. Mostly, it's don't worry about what your friends think. You're not. They're not going to be the ones that help you be happy. It's better to be yourself. But so, like in that video, um, that you posted today, they were talking about that shiny happy people, and like I think I said this already today, but that's that's who my parents were. They were in that cult, that same cult that the shiny happy people were in, and so they didn't. I think that caused some issues when it came to their parenting. And I don't blame them. I think they did the best they knew how to do. It just wasn't wasn't very great. It would have been better if they'd not been involved in that cult. But I know they were doing the best they knew how to do it. So I don't blame people for doing the best you can, even if the results are not something I think are great. Well, I mean, isn't that how everyone ends up? You kind of look like your parents. Oh, that's sad. My daughter's tall for her age. At least I'm told she is. I look at the other girls in her class and she looks average to me, but I'm told that overall she's tall for her age, and she looks like her mom, but she also looks like my side of the family too. Kind of funny how that works. Yeah, what's funny to me is she, on her own, I didn't influence this because I don't listen to that kind of music anymore, but uh, she kind of picked up liking music that I was into when I was in high school, and she just started middle school, so she's not quite that age, but still basically the same age. But I mean, like I said, to me, the thing I'm most proud of is that she's just okay with being herself and doesn't care when people say you're you're being weird. When people at her school say that. Hmm. I'd be interested in your thoughts on that. I don't hardly listen to music anymore. When I do, it's if I'm by myself on a bike. It's pretty much the only time I listen to music. Mostly that's just to kind of give me a rhythm to to go with. You know, I don't know about that. I just tell her, you know, don't worry about what they think. Like yourself, and don't if they don't like you, they're not the kind of person you want to have be friends with anyway. But she did tell me that she's excited to go back to school in about two and a half 3 weeks. Um, there she does. I guess she even though like she's the only one like her in her school, which is kind of gothy. Uh, she does have like a circle of friends, and I asked them if they are goths too or whatever, and she said no, they're all different, but they all I guess uh commiserate on not fitting in with the normal kids at the school, even though they all don't. None of them fit in with each other exactly. Oh, she's skinny. Like she's she's always been skinny. My son is even skinnier. Like he has to shorts that are for his age group. He has to tie him really tight because he's too skinny. I don't know how that happened because I'm not skinny and neither is their mom. My son, I know how it is for my son. He never stops moving. He'll sit there playing video games and be like moving around while he's doing it. I don't mind her being goth stuff. If she wants to be goth, that's fine with me. It's kind of the modern version of how I did was as a kid. Although I was I suppose at the tail end of my those years, I that's when goth started coming around. At least when I became aware of them. But I was definitely grunge when that was a thing, and I don't care if she's goth. That's fine by me. Kind of picking up the torch that I put down, I suppose, in a way. I think everyone regrets their their life choices in the end. You know, you always look back and say, if I done this differently or done that differently, what would have happened? I think everyone's like that. Well, personally, I think human sexuality should probably be less stigmatized. Our culture does not have a healthy relationship with sexuality, in my opinion. Well, I'm just talking about like uh so like when I was in high school, the uh the whole and I've seen it, I know it's still going around, but I when I was in high school, it was and I took it well, so okay, let me clear my thoughts. So when I was in high school, uh we we were given the example of used bubble gum, and that's like if you give your virginity away, uh it's like and then go have sex with a second person, it's like giving them someone else's already chewed bubble gum. That's not a healthy outlook on sex, in my opinion. Uh, and apparently, and I didn't take it this way. Didn't even cross my mind to take it this way. I thought it was when I was a kid. I just thought they were talking to boys and girls, but apparently that's mostly for girls. And um, you know, I want them to have an appropriate relationship with sex for their age. Um, and I don't know what that is, uh, but I don't think the puritanical relationship with sex is healthy. There's something that's wrong. I think there's a better way to deal with it. And beyond that, I don't know. I mean, yeah, bubblegum chewed already, but that's because we've decided that's what it's like. It doesn't have to. We don't have to say that's what it's like. We've just decided that's what it's like when you if you're the not the first. Mm, I think like well here's the thing. Like we knew when they were saying that a lot of the kids that sitting there watching it were going to go ahead and have sex anyway, regardless of that. So instead of having them have a saying, "Hey, this is sex is a normal human experience," what was done was um, what we did was make them feel ashamed about having a normal human experience, and that's not a healthy way to deal with it. Um, and honestly, like so there, virginity is a gift to the man you end up married to. That's that I'm not saying you should do it with a stranger. Uh, so because we view it as a gift, but we don't have to. It doesn't have to be viewed as a gift. We view it as a gift, and therefore it is. But a lot of that, I think, is rooted in uh, women were viewed as property, and you're back back in ancient times, and by having sex with a woman, you're messing with another man's property, and that's the problem. Uh, I mean, sure, that's true. You are only a virgin once, but like if if you haven't done enough to know what you like you can't have the experience to know, hey, this person is going to fulfill me sexually, and that's going to lead to issues as well. And as far as like want a stranger that close to me, I mean, I'm not saying you should just go out and have wanton sex with whoever you run across, and um, you should, but that also doesn't mean you should just ignore that part. I don't think. Um, I mean, if you want to be property, that's up to you. I It's illegal. What's a legal thing? I mean, if if women were property, that would be a legal thing, I guess. I mean, is that what you're saying? I don't know. To me, it's never right to own another human being, regardless of what the circumstances are. And women aren't property. They're just as autonomous as any any man is and should be. And if you're autonomous, you can't be property and autonomous. Like those two are mutually exclusive. At least it would seem like it is to me. Well, to some guys, oh, everyone can be fuck ups. So I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that on the stream, but everyone can do that. I'm back. Welcome back. So yeah, he was talking about teleporting. He said, hey, basically, if you just copied your atoms and then killed the original person, that's basically teleporting. Which, like, yeah, that is kind of, but you're killing someone. Oh, he came in and started talking to me about teleporting. Sorry, I thought I mentioned that. He said he basically he came in and said basically if you could just copy your atoms to another place and then kill the original, that's basically teleporting. And I said, yeah, you're right. That would kind of be like teleporting, but you're still killing someone. I have no idea why he was thinking about teleporting. He just was. Yeah, he's a neat kid. He has a lot of weird random thoughts sometimes. Well, actually, according to theory of relativity, uh, it it is to an extent. Just because uh, as you increase in speed, as you increase in speed closer to the speed of light, you time slows down. Now, the speeds we're going when we drive is not significant enough that you would notice it even over the course of a lifetime. I mean, you might get a few minutes, but it is you are technically slowing down time every time you drive to to an amount. And I talked to I remember talking to someone a few years ago about airplane travel, and like you can do the calculations and measure if you, how much how much you've slowed down time when you fly on an airplane. Uh, and if people who fly all the time, it's not significant for the course of a lifetime, but there is an amount of time that they have, you know, lived longer than they would have otherwise. Yeah, pretty cool when you think about that stuff. So I saw you were going on Matters Now. What's Matters Now? I've never heard of that. Who's the person that's been on there? Not Achilles, is it? Ah, so why are you going on there? Russian vids. Okay, I'm not familiar with them either. Well, I'm interested in what that is, but I don't want you to spoil the story if you're going to tell it to the whole world in a few days. Oh, okay. What's okay? So I've heard of Freemasonry and Illuminati. What's 33? Never. I mean, I assume it's another like similar thing to those other ones, but I've never heard of that. Hmm. Did you get photos? That's fair. It's not like the same, not at all the same thing, but I ran across, I don't know, probably 10 deer yesterday on my ride, and like not all at once. It was over the course of about an hour. I, of course, didn't have a chance to take photos. Pretty cool though. Oh, okay. So 33 isn't a group, it's like numerology stuff. Gotcha. Well, here's a weird thing about 33, though. It's half of 66. They point out 33 and call it evil. Can you give me an example of what? So they think Tesla is evil? Hmm. I was just looking it up myself. Gotcha. Okay. So anytime the 33 pops up in like the news, it's it's evidence that this particular story is part of the conspiracy, is what they're saying. Huh. Yeah, I might do that in a little bit. Numbers are just numbers. I don't think there's anything like super special about them. You'd have to convince me there's something special about a specific number, other than like things like pi. We don't really know why pi is what it is, or not that it's. I don't know. There have been like sci-fi stories about a universe where pi was a different number or something. Well, mathematicians are important because we use math to model reality, and without mathematicians, it's harder to do. But saying, some specific number has like some kind of cosmic value, I don't know. That's it's a bit far fetched to me, or not cosmic value, cosmic significance. Oh yeah, sure there have been. I can't. I know there was one. So Charles Babbage, is like he in the 1800s. He invented what basically would be could be considered like a a computer, but it wasn't electronic. It was mechanical, and uh, like the person who understood his device the best was a woman, other than him. I mean, like the person who understood and said, "Hey, look at all these cool things we could do with it." Now they couldn't really do much with it because it wasn't an electronics hadn't even been invented, but there was a woman involved with him that or involved in his project, and she was a mathematician. That's why she was able to understand it so well. And I mean, that's just one that like in my head I can like pull that off the top of my head. But there's definitely been a lot of female mathematicians. That's not a common or not an uncommon thing. It's probably too rare. Oh, I don't think so. Like I think they were both married to other people, and it was the 1800s, so like that wasn't going to happen. Mm, not in Victorian times. Let me see. Okay, her name was Ada Lovelace or Lovelace. I'm not sure how you whether it be Lovelace or Lovelace, but yeah, she was a countess actually. Oh, I mean, yeah, that's true. Like the funny thing about the Victorian era is they did not live up to their morals. They just try to pretend like they did, but still, she. They were both like here. I'll post a link. And as far as like Muslims, I think it again that comes out to women are they're still stuck with women are property. That's true. No, I think clothes should be more functional and like for the environment than anything else. I don't think you know that's kind of hard for me to really wrap my head around because I hear the women say it feels very liberating to wear like a burqa or whatever they call it. And um and I don't want to say, well, you're wrong, because that's what they know that what their experience is better than I do for sure. But I have to wonder how much of that is because of the rest of the society that they live in, why a burqa feels liberating. And basically I end up thinking it's it's more complex. It's not just a simple issue, and it's not something that I can just say, oh yeah, this is the way, this is the simple answer to the whole situation. As far as strip clubs, I am not sure. I Some of that is a problem with our culture, and some of it is probably legitimately problems. I saw Nitty had said he'd changed his stance on in person sex work, and I don't know well enough to really ask him more beyond that. He just said he changed it. I don't think I've ever been to one. No, not because I. He had said it was in one of your, I think it was on one of your live shows, but he said that he was thought it should be legalized and not uh, destigmatized or normalized. And then after reading some studies, he changed his stance on that. And I mean, that's the way to do it for sure. Is you come up with, you find new information that conflicts with your stance, and you should change your stance. Well, don't take my word for it. You might want to go back and look at some of your logs. It was like maybe Thursday or Friday, but and I don't want to put words in his mouth because no, he said it was. I mean, he said he sounded like he was saying it to you because you'd had the conversation, but it was because he'd read some studies, some scientific studies. So maybe your conversation had like put some questions in his mind, and he'd gone and researched it. And I didn't ask him what studies it was. I mean, and like kind of what I think is it would be hard to have a completely unbiased study anywhere, you know, and so but I wouldn't be able to identify if it's biased or not either. So I don't really know where to go from there other than it kind of is what it is. So why do I strike you as a non-strip club type? Because that's interesting to me. I mean, I'm not, but why did you say that? Gotcha. I don't know that that's the reason. Because even when I didn't have a family, I wasn't really interested in doing going there. I just not the kind of person I am. Yeah, that's true. I've like the I never when I was a kid, I never told fart jokes. So I probably tell them more now for my son's benefit than I ever did when I was a kid. And to me, that's kind of the same deal. Like uh, the 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 part of my brain that would tell fart jokes is the kind of would say perverted stuff. I don't know. I guess I've never hung out with those guys or never paid enough attention to them to recognize that. Probably the latter. I'm I'm more of a vibes person. I just like vibing, I guess is what they call it these days. You know, I'm not gonna try not to comment on the your the things you say negatively, even if I don't necessarily agree with all of them, because your things you say are, you know, reflective of your values and opinion, and they're valuable just because uh, you're another person, and you as a person have value. Well, I don't know. I haven't noticed you saying too much negative, other than like when you're, I don't know, like having a bad day or whatever. That's me. I want to have fun with the people I'm with, and I just want to. I wouldn't say I want to laugh. I don't care about laughing, but I do want to just enjoy being with people, as long as things don't get taken too personally. I don't know. I haven't seen that, but oh, I was about to wrap this up anyway. It's almost time for me to head to bed. Might jump in there and just see what's going on. What is it? Another open panel? He usually does that on Sunday evenings. Cool deal. Well, I will see you tomorrow then. Yeah, thanks for hopping in here.